Call this meeting, special meeting to order. We got an agenda there. Talk about that. Public comment?
Yes.
Come to the podium and speak into the microphone, please, ma'am. You know the deal here.
I know the words, and I know you get tired of hearing it. I'm not sure this is on, and I'm not going to use it because I think you can hear me. I'm frustrated. I came to this beach to retire and enjoy myself. But every time I turn around, there's some kind of special meeting, and you see how many of us are here today. I realized that a lot of the meetings dealt with budget. I just feel like that this particular agenda item should be taken up at the regular BOC meeting. From what I know, and I come to the meetings now because I'm tired of getting partial information. So I've made an effort to be here and to know what's actually said at the meetings. More people need to be in meetings when there's a budget change, and there evidently will be a budget change with this because we're paying more for an auditor. The regular meeting is only 8 days away, for what it's worth. Looking at the contract that was in the packet that was sent out, I'm wondering when it became standard practice for the chair of the audit committee to be a signee of the audit contract. And has it been a practice before using Rives and Associates? What obligation does the head of the audit committee have when signing that contract? And I think all of you know my feelings on any time the auditor contacts this town in any capacity, the town manager, financial officer should be sitting in on the meeting. They keep records. They have documentation of what's happening. When this contract's signed, will they be told that the town manager, financial officer is the person to contact? Are you going to do something to be sure that this is a clean audit? And you're in.
Thank you, ma'am. Being that no one else is in the room, I assume that's the last speaker. And we'll move to item number 3 on the agenda.
May I ask if the board is willing to consider flipping item 4 and item 3? It seems to me that discussing voting on the ordinance before we discuss the contract, because the contract is where the actual monetary amount is presented, just might be out of order. And if people wouldn't mind, could we discuss the contract before we discuss approving the ordinance?
You might have an objection there.
I do. We selected the auditor, and the issue was we didn't have the funds. So we were asked to move the funds to accommodate the deficit that was there. And this contract is from LGC. It's a standard, my understanding, it's a standard LGC contract.
Excuse me? Actually, in the LGC contract, they also talk about the engagement letter, which also has ramifications on the agreement, because in the LGC contract, They specifically say a copy of the engagement letter issued by the auditor, signed by both the auditor and governmental units, should be attached to this contract, shall be incorporated by reference as if fully set forth herein as part of this contract. So the engagement letter as well needs to be considered by us as part of the contract. Even though if there are disagreements between the two, the LGC contract rules, it still does indicate the engagement letter has bearing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So there are some things
So-
in the engagement letter I would like to discuss.
Okay. I still think we should be the same, the order that's defined.
I understood the only reason we didn't sign the contract, we couldn't sign the contract because we didn't have the money appropriated yet.
We didn't have a contract. Remember,
We couldn't ask David to sign a contract because we didn't have the money.
we did not know. As Noel said, we did not have a contract. We didn't have the contract at that time. We had not asked anyone for a contract. So yes, the money wasn't issued. However, without a contract in front of us, we could not proceed.
We actually approved a lot of people's contracts without seeing the contract.
Noel very clearly said we didn't have a contract. Again, I'm not going back into the past. I'm discussing this particular issue, that we now have a contract in front of us that includes an engagement level that is also legally binding. But I feel we should discuss a couple things.
You want to make a motion so we can move this along?
I would like to move that we discuss for discussion and possible action on the audit contract for fiscal year 2018-19 before we discuss the possible action on ordinance.
Motion to second. Hearing no second, motion fails. Agenda stands as presented. We'll follow item number 3 on the agenda. Here's our next discussion and possible action. All right, who wants to speak to that?
I move we approve the ordinance, amending ordinance 1910, revenue appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 1920, amendment number 2, page 1.
I second.
Discussion?
I do not approve of using lives under the existing contract the way it is written. I do not approve of using them, period, but I specifically do not approve with the way the engagement letter is still written, and I would say that we should take this to the BOCM to discuss the conditions under which the decision was made, which did not take into account other audit committee members' advice after they found out that there could be other firms considered, and that be discussed, as well as spending an additional $15,000 roughly this year for the audit. I think that Dolly is correct that this magnitude of a budget amendment should be discussed with the public that typically comes to the BOCM. I simply cannot vote to approve extra funds on a contract that I don't agree with the terminology.
Everything that was just brought up was brought up at the BOC meeting, every single word of it. And we had a special meeting because time is of the essence. We're on a list because we're late with our last audit, and we want to be on schedule for the upcoming audit. That's why we all agreed, I think it was all agreed, to have this special meeting.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
No?
Madam Clerk, it's 3-1. Number 4 on the agenda, who wants to speak to that?
I move we approve the audit contract for fiscal year 2018-2019 for Rives and Associates.
I second.
Discussion.
Yes, in the engagement letter, on page 3, at the bottom, audit procedures general. It is stated that, however, we will inform the appropriate level of management of any material errors, any fraudulent financial reporting or misappropriation of assets that come to our attention. We will also inform the appropriate level of management of any violations of law or government regulations that come to our attention, unless inconsequent. This letter must define exactly who is going to receive these types of communications. One of my major complaints against Rives was the fact that they seemed muddled about who they are supposed to communicate with. I want it made clear that communications are with town management, that there is not discussion off the record with anybody else, and that there's no discussion off the record with town management because they have to keep track of what is said. There cannot be independent approaches to the auditor, off-the-record statements that just cause confusion at the end. I believe that it needs to be specified who communication will go to, and it should be to the town, probably through the town clerk would be appropriate, and to nobody else. There is also discussion, there is also some discussion about communication. If it becomes clear that there is going to be additional time needed. And again, last year, we all know what happened. The audit firm knew that they had to have additional time and money to complete the audit. They did not communicate it promptly to the town manager for immediate consideration. They did not communicate it to the LGC. And I believe that it needs to be specified that within 1 working day of concluding, additional time, which is money, is necessary to finish the audit. There needs to be direct communication to the town manager. And that is on page 6. And I believe that those changes to the engagement letter need to be sent to Rives, and that they need to provide us with a new engagement letter because it is considered part of the contract before we sign this.
Any more discussion?
I have no problem with those additions.
I would just say that we had this discussion at the last meeting, and I objected to Rives being retained again for the reasons that we discussed, and I'm not going to discuss them again. The reason I am going to vote for the contract is that we did discuss that time was of the essence and the need for us to move quickly, and that's why we set up this meeting for today. So despite my objections to retaining Rives, I lost on that vote a week ago, and we're not going to relitigate it, so I'm going to vote in favor of the contract.
I think the concerns can be taken care of separately. I don't have an issue with letting this go to the LGC and clarifying with them. We are the board. We can tell them and David. We just tell them when they get here. And with David, David is the only one they report to, then that's it. And I don't think there'll be any problem with them understanding that. And David is already the only contact from the town, or the decider of single contact from the town.
Any more discussion?
Just a point I'll make. On page 7 in the letter of engagement, that says management signature there. I believe that if I sign that, management as relates to what the letter entails is defined by who signs the letter. I'm just a point. That's my perspective on it.
Well, you're the management, you're the
And
chief executive,
The,
so.
the governance signature is the mayor
The mayor.
as the chair of the board.
And he's, in the event the mayor's not here, then the mayor pro tem signs for him. And the audit committee and chair would never sign for him unless they have to be the same person.
So David, you're making the point that the references within
I
these
think,
pages.
I think they take care of themselves by the way the document is prepared, as, in terms of management's discussion.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
No,
3-1, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move adjourned.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.